Patrick Kane, James Van Riemsdyk, welcome to the Dreger Cafe. Again, I get chirped on an annual basis about the bread and how poorly set up we are when it comes to the appetizers. This is the first time ever that we've actually had a pizza. So it's in your honor and Team USA's honor.
Special occasion.
Special occasion.
I love it.
Now, Patrick, fortunately and unfortunately, this is your second visit to the Dreger Cafe. You joined us last year in Denmark, JVR. This is your first time. What is it about the experience of the World Championship, Patrick, that brings you back when you're available to come back?
Well, I came after my rookie season, and then took a long time off to come back up until last year, and then had a pretty good time last year. I thought it helped my game, kind of lead me into a good season last year, and then when it was looking like we weren't going to make playoffs, you start thinking about the possibility of coming back and playing for the U.S. again. And then I think the biggest thing is that the U.S. hasn't won gold since 1933, so it'd be nice to be part of that team.
Well, and look, you committed early because you were available. You were named captain by USA Hockey very early. James, that's got to help in the recruitment, to get the quality players that the Americans have on this roster when you've got guys like Patrick Kane and Dylan Larkin who commit as early as they did.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like Kaner said, I think everyone sees the last time the U.S. won this tournament, and obviously it'd be a special thing to be a part of. So getting a chance to come over here with the team we have, obviously we've got some work to do here still, and we're excited for that chance.
But Patrick, every team comes here. I mean, the powerhouse teams come here with the design to win gold. It's so difficult because it's a relatively short tournament and there's so many good teams. But in saying that, I mean, Team USA is here for a purpose, and that is to win gold.
Yeah, and I think that shows by the roster we have.
Yeah.
A lot of good players came over. A lot of guys want to be part of that. Like you said, it's tough because you get to the quarterfinals, semifinals. It's one game elimination, and anything can happen in those games. You saw last year, Team Switzerland, makes it all the way to the final and almost wins against Sweden. So hopefully we just keep building our game here. Feel good about ourselves going into those playoff games and be playing the way we want to at that time.
It's not easy though, James, to adjust, is it? I mean, the regular season ends for those who don't qualify for the playoffs, and then you're off, and this tournament started a week later than usual. Some countries had difficulty in recruiting NHL players over, but yet Team USA is loaded. It's an NHL All-Star team.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, like you said, that month of in between the regular season and the start of the tournament made it a little tricky. You wanted to try to stay sharp and be ready to go for when the tournament started. And I think, obviously, first couple games coming over to play on the big ice, you're shaking off some of that rust and all that good stuff. But, again, hopefully we continue to build on that.
Patrick, let's dive into the U.S. program a little bit. I mean, the national team, the development program, has produced some unbelievable talent over the years. And, we're witnessing firsthand another one, right, in Jack Hughes, who's clearly a top NHL prospect in preparation for the draft. What have you seen that you've liked from Jack thus far in the tournament?
I think that, it's probably tough for him to come over here and be in the role he is, especially when there's so many good players. I think he's really had a good tournament, to be honest with you. I know the numbers really haven't been there for him, but he has the puck a lot. You can see him showcasing his speed and the way he can move up the middle of the ice and get by defenders and create off that. But I think he just has that it factor. He wants to be the guy. He wants to play hockey and do it well. So you can tell how much he loves the game just from certain memories he has about a bunch of players in our locker room. So he's a fun kid to talk to.
Well, both of you guys have had the opportunity to play with him, at the World Championship as well. Do you enjoy that mentoring role for a young guy that you can clearly see is going to have a very good NHL career?
Yeah, it's been, again, it's exciting. I think, obviously, you see it follows last year here at the U.S. program and see him breaking all the records, and then at the U18s having a great tournament there as well. So it's been cool to see him come here and step in with this group. And again, he's got a lot of unbelievable skills and talent, and he's definitely got that kind of unflappable sort of personality that I think is going to serve him well for his career.
Yeah, there's a maturity about this guy. He's got poise. Maybe that's experiencing what Quinn had to go through last year, a very similar type of situation. you guys went 1-2 back in 2007, and Dale Talon, then with the Chicago Blackhawks, did not tip his hand, at least to the media, prior to the draft. Is it going to be Patrick? Is it going to be you? Kyle Turris was in the conversation to some degree as well. So can you guys appreciate the comparisons that Jack is having to live with now with Kaapo Kakko and the Finnish sensation that he appears to be?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's good for the game of hockey too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are so young. You look at like Jack, and youngest player to ever play for the Americans in this tournament. 17 years old coming in. He's wearing a cage. He's switching over to a half shield mid-tournament, And,
which isn't easy.
Yeah. No, that's tough too. But yeah, I remember in 2007 there was obviously a little bit of the unknown of what was going to happen in that draft, and Reamer had all of his buddies there in the crowd chanting his name. So thankfully they didn't boo me when I got drafted, but they were pretty excited when he got drafted.
Did you know going in? Did you have any idea?
No.
I think Dale told me if they had to pick, they were going to end up selecting me, but you're hearing all sorts of rumors of teams like trading for the pick and moving around and up and down the draft, so still kind of the unknown up until you hear your name. Well,
you're going to get back after the World Championships, and I'm sure kickstart back into full training mode and getting ready for the NHL season. An interesting twist for you, obviously, is Alain Vigneault is the new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Have you had an opportunity to talk to him over here, meet with him, and get a sense of what type of coach he might be?
You know, I got a chance to just say hi. We were eating at the same restaurant the other night, so just a brief little hello. And again, obviously you see his track record, and he's been a part of some teams that have had some good success and made it to the finals, and I'm sure he's hungry to get back there and hopefully again win one this time. So again, we're excited to get started and go from there.
I'd be remiss, Patrick, if I didn't ask you about how good it feels to surpass Mark Johnson as the leading point getter USA hockey history here at the World Championship. I know it's not about the individual stuff for you guys, but it still matters.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you look at Mark Johnson, I mean, he was a huge part of that 1980 Olympic team, leading scorer for those guys, and obviously had a great World Championship career. We have a couple guys that are right on my heels as well, with Larkin and Gaudreau right around the 32, 31 area as well. So it'll be cool when those guys pass him too.
You guys watching the Stanley Cup playoffs? I know it's hard with the considerable time change, but you're paying attention, I guess, on social media?
Yeah, you definitely see some of the highlights the next day. Obviously some controversy this
was
morning
it a hand
last
pass?
Night.
Was that a hand pass?
Looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like it to me. I don't know. But those are tough split-second sort of things to call. And that's tough now to play armchair quarterback that I'm sure everyone's doing. And wondering how we can maybe avoid those situations. But again, it's been an exciting playoffs to say the least.
Did you watch your old buddies, the Toronto Maple Leafs, through round one, or not?
I was watching them a little bit. I was watching my brother's series a little bit more closely. But obviously, again, they ran into a really good team who's on a great run now as well with Boston. So it certainly seems very wide open this year.
I'm guessing you're hoping, Patrick, that there won't be a three-peat in terms of you coming back to the Dreger Cafe for a third consecutive year, because that would mean that the Chicago Blackhawks maybe had another tough season. What do you predict for Chicago next year?
I think we'll be better than we were this year. I think Jeremy Colleton came in and did a really good job of kind of implementing a structure and a way that we need to play. I think it will really help for him to have a training camp under his belt and for the team as well. So looking forward to that. But I think we should be a playoff team, and you see nowadays you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, and teams like Tampa are losing, Calgary are losing in the first round, teams that dominated all year. So make the playoffs and see what happens after that.
Well, you guys obviously aren't hungry, or you're not going to eat on camera, so we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the World Championship.
All right, thanks, Darren.
All right, thanks.